Alright, so we've got some soft rain sounds outside. One of you is sleeping on the bed next to me here, and the rest are out scampering around, causing trouble, and all that's okay. I'm just going to come in here and do a guided meditation to give you this treasure. This is Ajahn Brahm's, the way that he teaches breath meditation. And even though I keep learning a lot every day, I keep coming back to this type of meditation and these steps that he teaches. And it really can take you to a nice place. So let's just start. I'm going to set my interval timer for 5 minutes and 5 minutes. I'm going to begin. And step one is to just come into the present moment. I am not trying to meditate. I'm not trying to do anything in particular. I basically just drop the instruction to my mindfulness. Hey, mindfulness, if it's in the present, if it's happening right now, no matter what it is, go ahead and pay attention to it. If it's not, you can drop it. It's okay to drop it. Ajahn Brahm talks about his analogy of having two suitcases in either hand. One's the past and one's the future. And it's just nice to just let that baggage go in this for this meditation. He says he doesn't teach people to go directly to the breath, because unless you've built the foundation of being able to just come into the room, into the body, into the evening, into the sounds, the morning, wherever you are, you're not going to get very far. So I wouldn't do this as part of all the meditations every time, but you can kind of have a thought experiment here if you want to see what I'm talking about. If you bring to mind right now some of the, just the nice sitting here, listening to my voice, if it's pleasant for you, and maybe the sounds outside, and kind of just take a quick peek at how calm you feel. Okay, and then now go ahead and throw some thoughts in about all the things you still have to do before the end of the day. Maybe the things that are coming up this week. Maybe some of the troubles or a difficult situation you had. You could see, and then take another stock, take another look at the gauge. You can almost instantly see the rising anxiety on the vagus nerve here. That's where I feel it. Right? So it's nice to come into the present moment. We've set aside this time. Right? There's nothing to worry about. Just sit with me. When I first called Kenneth Folk on the very first talk with him, this is how he started me in meditation. He said that exact thing. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. We set aside this time. I have it written in my notes. What a great way to start meditation. I really look forward to the first 5 minutes of my meditation. I'm just listening to the rain outside. So we're just doing what the Buddha said. The monk goes into a forest, and the first thing the Buddha says to do is he sets up mindfulness. He sits down in the lotus position, and then he sets up mindfulness before him. And that was his way of saying what I think Ajahn Brahm is saying and what I'm saying here to you. Just become aware of the present moment and everything going on in it. No stress, no strain. You're just relaxing back and allowing the thoughts and feelings and sensations and everything about the present moment to wash over you. And if thoughts of the past or the future, anything that's going to happen tomorrow or happened yesterday or might happen in the future, any of that comes up, just drop it, like dropping baggage. Just think about if you're eating a plate of food at dinner, and suddenly, and how good it is, how nice it is to have that dinner, and then all of a sudden you start to think about all the dinners you're going to have to eat between now and the end of your life. And picture them all in a room, stacked up to the ceilings, 5 rooms of food, and you look at it and you go, I could never eat that much food. Oh my gosh. Right? Just drop all that. Just pay attention to the plate in front of you right now, which is the present moment. And that's a nice thing. Something the mind wants to do after it's tried it a few times. Interval timer's gone off. Let's move to the second stage. Ajahn Brahm says we're still going to do present moment awareness. The second stage is silent present moment awareness. So we're going to begin to let go of more. Close your eyes and pay attention inside your head to where your internal voice is happening. To sensitize yourself to that, you can say the alphabet loudly in your mind like this: A, B, C. You can get a sense of the location where your head talk happens. Okay, stage 2 is to continue to stay in the present moment, but just go ahead and let go of the talk. Whenever the talk arises, just stop if you can. Drop the instruction into your mindfulness to just, hey, silent present moment awareness now. That's what we want. In his instructions, Ajahn Brahm says something beautiful about these 2 stages. He says, you could spend a whole retreat just practicing these 2 stages, present moment awareness and silent present moment awareness, and it would not be a wasted retreat. In his way of teaching, before you even go to the breath, you've got to build this foundation of being able to come into the room, into the body, and be quiet enough to concentrate. So if you've got mental talk here that won't go away, you could try looking directly at it and saying, all right, speak, mind. Get it out. Go ahead and speak. Tell me. Usually when you do that, it's going to just stop. Oh, I guess I didn't have anything to say after all, says the mind. So that's one technique you can use. Another technique you can use is to actively try to listen for a sound that you know is not there. My teacher Kenneth Folk talks about listening for the ships in the harbor. Right? There's no harbor, you can't hear the ships. But if you listen for them, you've put your mind into that silent, no sound. Another way to do it is to take any sound that you can hear out in the world and try to listen in the opposite direction. Kind of get an idea of the silence that the mind can have. There's thousands of little tricks like that. Go ahead and learn them. Use the ones you like. Discard the ones you don't. Just in the room, in the body, listening to the rain, feeling your presence sleeping on the bed over there. Letting the mind quiet down. If you'd like to apply some noting practice here, which is our core practice, you can just use the binary note talk when there's talk going on, and peace when there's no talk, or quiet. Quiet, talk. Quiet, quiet, talk. But don't stress too much. This isn't deep vipassana. This is a concentration and relaxation practice. And we're on step 2, just being aware of the present moment. There's our buzzer. So we're going to go on to step 3. Silent, present moment awareness of the breath. So we've built our foundation now. That, just like Jesus says, the rest of the house can go up, and when the winds come and the rains come, it won't fall. So instead of being aware of everything going on in the present moment, we're just going to let everything go and become aware of just one thing, and that one thing is the breath. So I'm not going to stress about how I'm breathing. I'm just going to bring my attention to it and allow everything else to fade into the background. And try to breathe in a way that it feels good to breathe. And that may take some experimenting. One analogy you can use is to imagine that you're in like a rose garden and you just want to sit and enjoy the freshness of all the flowers and the scent all around you. It's the kind of feeling you want to get from this breath. And like always, if your mind wanders and you catch it, you know eventually you'll catch it. The instruction is to not beat yourself up, but instead be happy, because this moment, when you've realized your mind has wandered, you bring it back to the breath, is the magic moment. That's the moment that you've been practicing. It's not some obstacle to be overcome so that you'll one day get to the real meditation. This is the practice. So you can be happy, mindfulness has returned, and bring it back to the breath. You haven't lost anything for the session by having wandered and then realized it and come back. Ajahn Brahm says that, and I've heard this from other teachers too, his teacher in the Thai forest told him, there is no such thing as a bad meditation session. No matter how bad it is, if you sit down and practice, you will get something out of it. And the analogy he uses is like getting a paycheck, working. The first day you go to work, you get done, you don't get any money. The second day you go to work, you get done, don't get any money. You do that again and again and again. And the last day of the month, though, they give you a paycheck. And you only got that paycheck because of all the other days you put in, all the other meditation sessions you put in. So that's how you should view all of these meditation sessions. There's no such thing as a bad session. So we're breathing in, breathing out. I breathe in a long breath. I know it. And breathe in a short breath. I know it. The Buddha's actual instructions on breath meditation are, breathing in, I breathe in through the whole body. Breathing out, I breathe out through the whole body. It's kind of a riddle or a koan. You can take it to mean whatever you want. You can just try to breathe in through every pore. Use your imagination and breathe in through every pore. Breathe out through every pore. Or you can imagine the top of your head opening and breathing in through the top of your head and then out through your bottom, through your legs, through your toes. Don't get too wrapped up around visualizations, I guess, but you can also imagine like it's a wave of the ocean coming in, going back out. My favorite one is the Ferris wheel, 4th of July, here in Malala Rodeo with you kids, under each arm. All of you piled in one seat going up, clear above everything, and it gets quiet up there, and then down back into the carnival, again and again. Anyway, just see if you can find a way to make the breath enjoyable. That's what we're after here. Stage 3, silent, present moment awareness of the breath. Just in time, because we're moving on to stage 4 now. Full, sustained attention on the breath. Pretty calm by now. What we want to try to do here is see if we can be aware of the breath from the moment it begins all the way to the moment the next one begins. One trick for doing this is to count the breaths or use a word or something and toss that word or that count in at the bottom of the breath at the end, in between before the next one begins. So in, out, 1, in, out, 2. That's a trick that helped me early on. The only thing I would add to Ajahn Brahm's instructions here is to make sure that you're not trying to force this. And he actually says that. You're not trying to bulldog the breath from beginning to end. Instead, you're relaxing back. Kind of like when you're watching that candle flame and you let your eyes relax back in their sockets and your jaw relax, and you let the light fill your eyes instead of bearing down trying to capture the image. Same thing with the breath. We're relaxing back here. But we're gonna squeeze every bit of niceness out of the whole breath from beginning to end. At this point, it's sometimes helpful to go along with that feeling of breathing in through your legs or your bottom and up into your chest and then out the top of your head, and letting it, shower out over the top. Being aware of the in-breath as that oxygen pleasure fills your body, and the out-breath as it all lets go, takes no effort. Breathing in, and you can feel the shimmering sensations as the blood, oxygenated blood, makes it to the extremities a second later. Breathing in through our whole body. Breathing out through our whole body. It's very nice to learn that magic skill of enjoying your own breath. It becomes a fabulous home base, both in meditation and out in your daily life. It's more than just if someone says to you, hey man, take a deep breath. No, we've cultivated the mind, and we've found an anchor in the breath. Just buzzed again. Ajahn Brahm's next stage is called present moment awareness of the beautiful breath. And he basically says that at this point there's nothing you can do to move on with your consciousness, with your conscious choice. This stage happens on its own. Basically, as you stay on the breath for a sustained period of time, everything gets calm. And it's just a really nice place to be. Nice sensations in the body, nice sensations of being calm, nice sensations of letting go of past and future. And if you can, at this point, what you want to do is allow that beautiful aspect of the breath to be part of the meditation object. So we were on the physical sensations of breathing. Now we want to focus on the niceness, the pleasure, bliss of the breath. So the meditation object is the beautiful breath, the blissful breath. So there's less effort involved in this step than in the previous step. In the previous step, we were trying to do something. We were trying to watch the breath all the way from beginning to end. In this stage, we found the niceness of the breath, and we're letting go of the trying and just sticking with the niceness. So there will be no effort involved here, because the mind starts to see, this is nice, and that will make it want to concentrate more on the breath. And concentrating more will make it more blissful. And so we get into this feedback loop. As the Buddha says in the Pali Canon, the proximate cause of samatha is samatha. Right? And Ajahn Brahm says that at some point here, the breath itself will become very subtle. And at that point, you can just drop the attention on the breathing and focus on the beautiful, or on that bliss, as the object. I imagine your eyes have been closed through this meditation, and you've probably noticed that the behind your eyes are just blank. But as you continue to focus and get concentrated, you may notice that a roundish dot or light appears in your visual space. And it may be moving, it may not. It kind of looks like it's in grayscale. If you cover your eyes, it will be brighter than the surrounding area. But if you let the light of the day come in, then it looks almost darker than the surrounding visual field. Ajahn Brahm calls that a nimitta, and they are part of Buddhist meditation. And I've never really done a lot of meditation on nimittas, but he says that at this point, after having followed the beautiful breath, if a nimitta appears, you can concentrate on it, and it will take you into the luminous jhanas. I haven't gotten that far. I've gotten to 8 jhanas that are sort of body sensation jhanas, but I think that most modern meditators agree that there's another whole state of these jhanas that are deeper and more absorbed, called the luminous jhanas. This is how Ajahn Brahm recommends that you get there. But this is as far as I can take you at this point in my practice. Still, the first 4 stages of that, or first 5 stages, are worth knowing and worth coming back to. If I look at how I feel right now, I feel much calmer than I did when I started talking to you in this guided meditation. And having this calm mind, I can either get up and go about my day and try to bring this calmness into my interactions with you kids going forward the rest of the day. If I can do that and it just changes one thing, then the whole time was worth it. And I always also like to remind myself that these nice feelings are available to me whenever I want. I can just come sit down, start my interval timer, and go through it, and know that this spot right here is the result of that process, right? The right process produces the right results every time. And I can get here again. I don't need to do anything else. I don't need to pop a pill. I don't need Annie to do anything. I don't need you kids to be a certain way. I can let the world be. I love you kids, and I'll do another one soon, so I hope you enjoyed.